Hello, everyone.
Hello, folks.
We're live here and back in the old Ford truck with Bob Gimlin. There's a couple things we wanted to talk about today. So we're just going to see if we can, how many people actually start coming on. I actually put a call out to Tom Yamarone. I hope he gets a chance to get on. And I see Kevin Morrison, Isaac, Brent, Alyssa, Kevin Morrison, hi Russ and Bob, J. Adam Edwards, Alyssa again, hello guys. Sibylla Christine Irwin is watching, J. Adam Edward, hi guys. Buck Nye, Crystal,
Good morning, all you special folks.
Lindy Gladden, Craig Wooliter, Buck
Craig.
Nye, howdy guys. Eric, hi Bob and Russ, Shane Corson.
Oh, man.
Aren't you supposed to be at work?
Yeah.
Paul Hayes, Esther, good morning Esther.
Good morning, Esther. Hey, we're lucky enough to hear from you quite frequently.
Daz Brown, Kevin Morrison. There's some stuff we want to cover today, and you guys are actually going to want to tune into this. If you're watching this a little later on in the day and didn't get to see it live, Paul Hayes says, hey, Russ and Bob. If you don't get to see it live, the information is still good. They said they missed you at the Ohio Bigfoot Conference. Henry May is online now, too.
Oh,
Henry
yeah.
May.
Well, hello, Henry.
I'm hoping to see Bob, or Wes Germer. Wes Germer, how the heck are you? You know Wes Germer.
Yes, I sure do.
Chronicles, rock on. I love his show. He's incredible.
Yeah, really is. Hey, I hope all of you folks that went over to Ohio, and Mark's really happy with everything went on, and I'm sure he is. But with Bobo and Cliff and the crew there, and Dr. Meldrum, all of you folks. Anyway, thank you for coming aboard today.
Oh, Shane Corson is at the OP with Derek and the gang.
Oh,
hey,
cool.
Derek.
Hey, Derek.
Hello, Russ and Bob from Wes. The OP. I'm actually going to be showing up at one of their excursions here in another month or so. That's going to be a lot of fun. Craig Wooliter says hi, Bob and Russ.
Oh, hi, Craig. How you doing, Greg? Down there in Texas.
Everybody missed you in Ohio.
Oh, I'd love to have been there. Maybe next year.
Esther misses everyone.
Oh, really?
Who doesn't love Esther? Excellent.
Hey, it's great, folks. It's great. Thank you so much for coming on.
So we're going to go ahead and just dig right into this thing. Jill Smith, hi guys. I'm going to do some reading, so I don't know if I'll be able to answer all the responses and the things that are coming up on this feed. I'll try to get back to them. Wes Germer, tell Bob to practice up on his poker game. He's going to collect his winning. Oh, Wes Germer thinks that he's this amazing card player, so we're going to have to position him in his place.
Well, I got a long sleeve shirt.
We better have a couple extra cards. He's good. He is pretty good.
Anyway,
Kelly Jo Abigail here. Awesome.
Yeah.
Josiah.
Thank you. Oh,
Kelly?
hey there. Great.
Abigail. Okay.
Abigail.
Okay. Wes is laughing at us. Yeah. We'll laugh last, buddy.
Yes.
Okay.
Hey, we feel this is really necessary this morning to get on with this book of Dr. Johnson, and get some things kind of straightened out there that we're kind of a little out of line, we feel, and Russ and I both want to work on that and let you know just exactly the way that it happened.
I'm going to go over a couple of things, and it was brought to my attention. I've been asked, Bob's been asked. There's a book, and I'm going to tell you, I'm not here to endorse anyone's book but my own. That's right, I wrote a book, actually two. But this is about something that has come up. Everybody knows the impact of social media. Wes Germer from Sasquatch Chronicles can attest to that. He has a vast audience, and he's able to speak to so many people. But media has a way of either helping you or hurting you, and there's been a lot of things that have gone out, and I've been called a couple of times. I know Bob has fielded a couple calls too on a book that came out in the great reveal for Dr. Matthew Johnson. And one of the things that was on the very front of his book, if you'll look, see if I can do it. Foreword by Bob Gimlin. Okay? So, in the Bigfoot world, Bob Gimlin's name has been around for 50 years. He's put in the time, he's put in the ridicule, the criticism, the pat on the back, the handshakes. His name is known far and wide. The thing that we want to set straight today, we're not here to bag on anybody's book. I respect anybody who can sit down and put a book together.
Yes.
But we do have something that I'm going to ask you about. We're going to conduct this as an interview. I'm going to ask you some direct questions, and you can tell them your feelings and what you have agreed to and have not agreed to.
Yes, that'd be great, Russ.
It's got to be for the record. This book has a foreword by Bob Gimlin. Now, I asked Bob, and I'll ask you in front of everybody, Bob, when you agreed to do a foreword in the book, was the book even written yet?
No, the book was not written yet, and I never had a chance to even get the outline of the book to read that, or didn't. It wasn't offered to me, and I didn't really have the time anyway.
Okay, so if tell us, kind of take me through that. You were asked by a friend if you would be willing to do a foreword in a book for a writer. And that writer would be Dr. Matthew Johnson.
Well, I was asked by a friend if I would honor the foreword, not do the foreword, because I did not do the foreword from me. I agreed to agree that the foreword was going to be a good book, which I was told it was going to be a really good book, and I'm sure it is. I haven't had a chance to read it yet. I intend to in the future. But my time is taken so much with so many projects that I'm involved in. But I won't even go into that. I just want everybody to know that I did not write the foreword to the book, and I didn't really know what all the foreword was. I never read the foreword. I just agreed to honor the foreword for a friend of mine, and talked to Matt Johnson at a little restaurant here in Union Gap. And we were all three sitting there and talked to Dr. Johnson, which I had talked to him a few times. And, I trusted Dr. Johnson because I didn't really have any personal contact with him before, except just to say hello, how are you? And I met him at the Bellingham conference quite a few years back. He seemed to be a very nice guy. And so, therefore, I was just going by what I'd seen in the past. And then I went to one of his conferences over at Bellingham, and everything went smooth over there. So Russell's going to read this forward, and we'll talk about that if it's okay with you folks. Thank you.
I do, before I continue, I want maybe somebody from the OP, give me, are we coming in loud and clear, and is our picture clear? Give me a thumbs up, or how are you guys seeing us? Hi Sean, hi William, Walt's watching, your buddy Walt.
Yeah, thank you, Walt.
Shane or Kevin? Okay, Kevin Morrison says clear. Okay,
good.
The audio is clear. Gunnar Munson, yes and yes. Awesome.
Thank you guys so much for coming back to us.
Hi Kyle, Esther. Okay, let's dig into this a little bit. This book that says foreword by Bob Gimlin. So we're going to, I want you guys, I read the first page and a half, and I think everybody in the audience would say the first page and a half sounds like Bob. Bob is just, talking about his experience, his life, and that sort of thing. It's very comfortable. It sounds exactly like him. So these words were not Bob's words. This was written and put on the book, and it says at the very beginning, foreword by Bob Gimlin. So understand this moving forward. These are not Bob's words, and I'm going to read the last 3 small paragraphs, and I'll try not to stumble over the words too much because there's some big ones. On July 7th, 2016, see, I'm already screwed up.
Yeah.
On July 7th, 2016, this is you talking. Okay?
Yeah. Yes.
So you need to let me know if you hear something that did not happen or you do not concur with. You need to let the viewers hear what your feelings are.
Well, the date probably is correct because I wasn't keeping track of the dates that I met my friend and,
It's not the
and
dates,
Dr.
it's the
Johnson.
words. Yeah,
Oh,
it's
the
just-
words.
yeah.
The words is what we're concerned about, folks.
Okay, on July 7th, 2016, I enjoyed eating breakfast with Dr. Johnson. Is that true? I'm just kidding.
Yes,
And,
that's true. I did.
and Lieutenant Colonel Kevin Jones. During our time together, Dr. J shared with me what happened up on the mountain in SOIA during the previous month. What a monumental event it was. I wish I had been there to experience it. I'll say this much. What Dr. Johnson shared with me made absolute sense and seemed to tie together many of the loose ends regarding the Bigfoot phenomenon.
Those are things that I had heard and figured, well, if it happened to him, it happened to him, and it never happened to me. So I agreed that on that part of it because I'd heard a lot of good friends say, yes, these similar things happened to me.
So I got a question. The portal idea and going through a portal and bringing Bigfoot through a portal and having that mind speak, does that make sense to you, or is that something that you question?
Well, that's something that I'd heard about, and it never ever happened to me, of course. So I said, well, if it happened to you folks, and it must have been true. It never happened to me, so I couldn't say, yes, that is accurate, that's the way they do things. I never agreed on that. I just agreed that I'd heard it from other folks.
The next sentence is, it most definitely fits my understanding of the Bigfoot forest people.
Well, see,
Is that your understanding, or is that someone else's words?
that's someone else's words, because I don't remember ever saying those words, Russ.
Okay. Let's move on to the next paragraph. I am proud to know that our filming of Patty in 1967 started the journey for so many people. I'm also pleased to have learned from Dr. Johnson that our film had a purpose, that the Bigfoot forest people had an agenda, and many of us have helped fulfill it.
This I'm pretty sure that I did state.
Okay? I want to encourage you to read Dr. Johnson's book. Did you say that?
I don't remember saying that. Now, if I said that there to those two guys, it must have just been conversation between the three of us.
Okay, we're almost done here. I want to encourage you to read Dr. Johnson's book with an open mind, and an open heart and an open mind. Put away your preconceived notions and ideas and simply enjoy the journey. So it's saying that you should open your mind to the idea of Dr. Johnson's philosophy, and I know what your thought process is on Bigfoot, that it is a scientific flesh and blood being.
Absolutely, that's my take on the Sasquatch Bigfoot phenomenon, and I'll never think any different than that. I don't think that there's something out there that we don't understand if we're acquainted with them or if we've ever seen one, or like my experience with Roger Patterson in 1967, where we actually saw one. There was no question about whether it was a spiritual thing. It was a live being, and I want to call it a live human being. That's my take on it. At that time, I didn't know what it was, but since then, I've become very adamant about that they are forest people and that they are very live beings.
Okay, the last bit of it is, we all have a journey we can learn from one another. In this book, Dr. Johnson openly, honestly, and courageously shares his journey with you. I know you will enjoy the ride. I know that I have. So it's not a matter of whether you agree with Dr. Johnson's philosophy or not. I don't think that's the point here. I agree with being open-minded when you hear someone's story. I listen to testimonials all the time. What I have a problem with, and what you've disclosed to me also, is if you're going to quote somebody, you should quote the truth. And for Bob to say that he's read the book and that it was a great journey and that he agrees with everything in the book, before the book was ever written was, and you said that you even tell them how you feel about signing something before you've read it.
Well, I should have never signed that before I read the book, and I still haven't had a chance to read the book. I have it. I thank you, Dr. Johnson, for the book. I'm very busy at times, and I will get a chance to read it. But my attorney voiced his opinion and said, Bob, why did you even agree on that foreword when you hadn't read the book? I said, well, the book wasn't written yet. This happened quite a few months before the book was out, was written and was out. And so I was just agreeing with what was presented to me as far as what the book was going to be. And of course the book had so much more context in it than I even heard about or even thought about. So for me to do that was a big error in my being. It was just a big error. I should have never done it. Should have waited till I read more and understood that it wasn't just a book coming out for the benefit of certain people. And also that Bob Gimlin wrote the foreword. I never wrote the foreword, and I never read anything about it when I agreed to agree on it, and so therefore I respect Dr. Johnson's ability to write and things, but I think things should have been put in a little better perspective.
So I guess something we're kind of going to take away from this is if you're going to be able to have someone quote you in a foreword for anyone else out there moving forward. If somebody says, would you like to endorse my book or be part of the foreword, make sure that it is absolutely your words that are written, and you write them down and you have proof that these are your words, and that is what you pass on to the author of any book that's going to use your name as an endorsement. And the lesson you learned, and you've said this, the lesson you learned was never to sign anything without having read what you're signing and what you're agreeing to. I know that you wanted to promote and help somebody who was asking for you to help them out.
Yes.
But to put words in your mouth that were not yours, or to have something already canned and ready to put on a book before the book was even done, I would hesitate to ever sign, or want to remind you guys, never sign anything unless you know what you're signing and what you're endorsing. Because if it doesn't fit what you agree with, you're kind of giving your blessing on something that isn't yours. So
that's well said, Russell. And I learned a very, very well, I won't say expensive lesson, but I learned a lesson on that to make sure that things were in the perspective before you go ahead and say, yeah, I agree to it. And I'll tell you what, I when I'm sitting and visiting with people like Dr. Johnson and my friends, it's easy for me to talk about things that could be or could not be accurate because they're agreeing on it and I'm saying, yeah, that's okay. But what Russell said just a few minutes ago is very well put. And so I've learned that you just be a little careful, and I will be from now on, folks. And Russell and I have an agreement that I'll contact him on anything that is presented to me ahead of time, and Russell and I'll talk about it, and we'll see if it should be put into print or even talked about.
There's people that I mean, if somebody, suppose Derek Randall's asked you about something, or somebody asked you to sign something, or Bob will go out of his way to do anything for any one of us.
Yes, I would. Yes.
I mean, he is definitely a caring, loving individual. He does it because of the compassion he has. He's a true legend because he's the toughest thing you have is to say no. The most difficult thing you've ever had to do was say no, and most often he won't unless it's just straight, unless it's just obviously right or wrong.
Well, that's true, Russ, because I so strongly believe in the subject. So if anybody has an experience or has something to say about it, I'll listen to it the best of my ability. And then if I think it's accurate, then I'll nod my head, yes, that's what I believe too. And Russell mentioned something a little earlier. I believe in sharing experiences with or listen to people's experiences, and we go forward by sharing our experiences and our knowledge. So therefore, I try to do my best at all times to be on top of this as much as possible. And so there sometimes I may be shaking my head yes when I should be saying, well, I am not quite sure. Maybe I should think about it a little bit longer. But I care a lot about people. I care a lot about people that has the interest in the subject of Sasquatch and Bigfoot. So therefore, what I can hear or learn from them is an experience.
So I want to bring something up too. Up till recently, you've had somebody a tremendous help in your life, and that was Tommy Amaral.
Yes, I have. Tom has done a lot of things with me, and Colonel Jones has also. Yep. I have a lot of friends that have helped me out. The Lucarts are great to help me at the Running Springs Ranch, and Russell here did so many good things for me, and I appreciate all of them, folks, and all of you folks out there that has joined us today. I appreciate you guys very, very much, and being I'm getting a little longer in the tooth and don't feel up to making trips as much as I had in the past, I hope you will understand that injuries and the things that's happened to me in my younger years is catching up with me now, and I'll do the best I can to continue the best I can. Russell and I have some things in mind that we would like to do if it works out. So we probably won't talk too much about that today. If we can get it going, it will work out. So thanks so much for folks for being out there today. And I wanted to tell Kyle Gibson, if he's on, I sure felt bad about not being able to meet him up in the mountains there, that I had so many projects in hand that I was just busy.
Oh, don't you dare apologize to Kyle Gibson. I've had dinner date with him twice, and he stood me up both times, so whatever.
Okay, Kyle, you heard what Russell said.
So we have a couple questions here, and we're not going to go into it, but I've had a couple people asking already that they would love to have a book written by Bob in Bob's own words. Can you imagine you writing a book? As slow as you write?
Well, slow as I write, and have cowboy words that say, hey, I reckon this is really true, partner.
Not too many people use the word reckon anymore. Unless you're wrecking a wrecking ball.
A wrecking ball.
Wrecking ball.
Russell's a construction man, so anyway, I'll quit using that word because there's quite a few different words out there I had to quit using, and one of them comes to my mind real quick when I said Roger's horse blew up. And some lady jumped up and said, "How many pieces, Bob?" And I said, "Well, no, that's just a cowboy phrase." And then one time I said, "I hope a big old ugly Native American is going to ride this horse." And of course, some of my best friends are Native Americans, and I have a little bit of that blood running through my veins also. So the statements I make about them are just fun type statements, folks. And Walt, don't take that seriously, my friend, because you are a very close friend of mine.
So we're going to the whole idea of you writing a book sounds kind of out there, but I don't know. People love to hear what you have to say.
Well, I'll tell you, Russell and I have some ideas about that, and we'll maybe get started working on it here as quick as possible. And if so, well, then we'll let everybody know, and we guarantee you that it'll be just experiences that through my lifetime I've had a lot of them, of course, and most of them have been good, but we'd have to go on the dark side a little bit once in a while if we were true about all of it. So on some of my injuries, folks, I've been injured a lot, but I never let injuries stop me or bother me, because I used to say I don't have time to be hurt and injured. I got things to do.
You're a busy man.
So, hey, folks, thank you so much for being with us this morning.
Bob, we've got 46 people watching you right now. What I was actually going to say before we got off track is Tom Yamarone has been the guy that has made sure that Bob made it safely to a lot of these conferences and always watched out for him. And I witnessed it myself in just as far as what Tom was doing is when Bob is out in a crowd somewhere, a lot of people want to come shake the man's hand, and you're talking hours and hours of not being able to just step away and get in the shade and get a drink of water and maybe even use the restroom, that sort of thing. And I have such a huge respect for Tom Yamarone for how he's been able to do that. The problem is, and it's a tragedy, Tom had a stroke not long ago, and he is recovering. He's a fighter, and he's recovering from that. And until he's on his feet, I'm doing what I can to help out. I know that you've got a couple other friends that are helping out to make sure you get to events and getting taken care of. But just, Tom, we just wanted to say we're thinking about you. Keep on that healing trend. You're going to be just fine. I mean, if you're anyway what people say about you, you are a fighter, and you will come out strong. So
well said, Russ, because we know Tom will be okay in the future. Tom has did an awful lot of things for me. Many years, such as Russell did down in Willow Creek for me. Russell stood by and said, Bob, you're looking tired, and take a break. Well, Tom used to do that. Tom and John Kirk both helped me out there in Ohio many times, and it was grateful. And Tom did so many things for events, like here in Yakima and Harrison Hot Springs, Canada, with John Green when John was alive and doing well. But hey folks, those were all good things and memories that we'll never forget. But we have to go forward from that, and Russ and I have some plans to just keep on going forward. And then when Tom gets better, maybe he can join up with us, or if he feels up to it. We just want Tom to get better now, because he's a very special guy, and most of you already know Tom. And I hope you enjoyed Bobo and Cliff there at the Ohio Conference this year, and Dr. Melvin, all the good speakers, and Guy Edwards, and Blackburn, Mr. Blackburn. So anyway, thank you so much, folks, for coming on with Russ and I this morning. It's a great morning to have all of you come aboard.
Yeah. So I want to, for the record, I know it was signing the book before it was written, and I appreciate you clearing the air, because I know that a lot of people have had questions, and I know that it takes a lot to step up and look at a camera and say, hey, it was an oversight on my part, maybe I shouldn't have done that. And just shows the kind of guy you are, Bob. I have a lot of respect for you, and thank you so much for that.
Well, thank you, Russ. And I've been ridiculed about doing that quite a bit, and I hope the people that has ridiculed me will understand that it was an error on my part. And Dr. Matt Johnson, hope you understand that it was misunderstanding among us, and so I hope things will go forward and everything. I wish you guys all the best of luck, and Matt, with your book.
Well, everybody, I'm not sure when we'll be back on live again. I'll certainly give you advance notice. I appreciate as many people that tuned in as possible. Kevin Morrison, you have been there every time.
Absolutely.
Kevin, rock.
Yes, Kevin. Thank you so much. And everybody that came aboard this morning. Hey, folks, this just makes my head swell up so my hat won't even fit. My hat won't even fit me anymore. So anyway, take care and have a good one until we get a chance to visit again.
Hey, I know. I think next time we do one of these, I should get a cowboy hat to wear.
Well, yeah, by golly.
By golly,
If I'd have been,
reckon.
I reckon I'll have to do that. Russ says don't be using that word anymore. But anyway, I reckon we'll quit using that word, and Russ will get him a cowboy hat, and we'll just act like old buckaroos.
Yeah, chase some fillies.
Yes, sir. Oh boy, I don't know what I'd do if I caught one, but anyway, I've got a tight rope.
You'd probably get kicked a good one. That's right.
Yeah.
Okay, everybody, thank you all for tuning in. We're going to go ahead and wrap it up. Share this video. Make sure that, please get the word out. You know, Bob will, he's always been helpful and friendly and tried to help out. I think this is one of those times when maybe it was just kind of a misunderstanding. It just wasn't where he needed it to be. And I will always, if I have anything to say about Bob, I'm going to actually get him online and have you hear it from him. I'm not going to speak for you.
Thank you, Russ. But Russell always puts it out there nice and plain for everybody to understand. And sometimes maybe I stammer and stutter and stagger around about words and things. But hey, folks, I mean well all the time, and I'm always trying to help somebody. And sometimes it backfires just a little bit, but not big time. So hang on, folks, and if it gets too tough, just tie a knot and end of the rope and hang on.
Amen. Have a great day, everyone.
Have a great day. Thank you, Russ.